Welcome to Dicejunkies. Today we are going to be talking about our review on Lucidity, Six-Sided Nightmares. The version that we played is actually the deluxe box set. It is designed by Shannon Kelly, and the game is actually produced by Foxtail?
Foxtail Studios.
Yeah, which is really fun. By the way, I'm Tim. This is Roger. And today we're going to be talking about the game. So, anyway, let's kind of get into it. Cool thing about the deluxe box set is that in here, there's actually two versions of the Nightmare cards. If you watch our stream to see how the game is played, you find that you're playing as a dreamer. And the whole point is to roll dice and see how it goes. It's a pressure luck game.
That blue one is an envy. I mean, a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Shadow, sorry. All right, so I got 4 points. I'll go ahead and take those now. And now I have to resolve the shadow dice. You can resolve them in any order, but they must be resolved. So, the green one is re-roll one dream of the next player's choice. Tim would be the next player, so he can now choose any dice on my track that I have to re-roll.
Like that red PowerPoint?
Absolutely.
Any dice.
Which means that I'm going to choose the Dream of Primeval Fear, the red die.
So, I have to re-roll this dice first. It stays 2 points.
It's worth a shot.
Now the blue dice...
That means you have to take a drink.
Worth a shot.
It's completely luck-based.
Yeah, it's luck-based, but it's kind of that risk-reward, and winds up being a lot of fun in the end. Or at least we enjoyed it while we were playing. So, but the kind of twist that they put on here is that you can become the nightmare, what you were trying to avoid. And when you become the nightmare, the rules change. What you do during your turn is completely different, but you can still win. Or in the case that we had,
we all lose.
Everybody loses because someone doesn't like to share. But anyway, let's talk about the design. So, Roger, what did you think about the design of this game?
So, as far as the overall design, in my opinion, I think the game is good. Whenever you're actually playing the game itself, when you become a nightmare, it's cool to become the nightmare. It's got great artwork for the nightmares, but I don't feel you can really do as much as the other players when you're the nightmare. You almost feel like you're kind of sitting on your hands.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into the mechanics a little bit. But as far as like the art, the packaging, the theme of the game,
as far as that goes, I think the artwork is beautiful. The art itself is beautiful. I do enjoy the dark to the game, and I actually just noticed that on the side of the board here, when you have the light attached to it, it actually gives you a lot of phrases in there.
Oh, it really does.
Useless,
That's cool.
Pathetic. It almost gives you the nightmarish. I just now noticed that, and that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I believe this is only in the deluxe box set,
yes,
which is really cool. But you can see the kind of shadow there, and it's got
it's on the bottom part. Yeah,
got that right there, which is really neat. And then all these horrible little terms that you can get.
Never even noticed
cool.
that.
Yeah. So as far as the design goes for you, yeah, and I agree. The design of the game, it's dark, which is right up my alley. If you play with the Safe for Work version of it, it's based around kids that are kind of having these dreams, lucid dreaming, and you can see from the side box art, this is actually one of the nightmares, I believe.
Yep.
That you can become in the game. The not safe for work, which honestly, guys, it's perfectly safe for work. It's just really not safe for kids. It is a little bit more graphic, a little bit more disturbing, but I would probably say PG maybe. But But the packaging is pretty good. I was not... this is a dice game. I was not too big on the quality of the dice, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're neat. They've got the designs on there, but the quality of the dice could be a little bit better. Now, this was a Kickstarter game, but I was looking for something a little bit more. I've had some other Kickstarter games that did have a little bit better on there. Yeah. Overall, out of our scoring system, what would you say the design gets?
I would say a 3.
Okay, cool. I actually agree. It's not top notch, but it's not bad whatsoever.
Yeah.
It could use a little bit of work, but for what it is, they've done a good job. So let's move on to enjoyability.
So as far as the game, I do enjoy the game. When you're actually playing it, it is fun. It is actually fairly decently paced. As you do actually get to interact with your other players. Not as much as I would like to interact with them. It's more of a forced interaction because the way that the dice play out. And as far as any type of strategy goes, it's pretty straightforward. You roll the dice and you do and then you have a card that tells you where the dice goes.
As far as the enjoyability on my standards, it was fun to play. The pacing was fairly good. The rounds do not take very long.
Not at all.
You go through, even when you're a nightmare. As far as player interaction goes, it does not promote a lot of it, but it does allow for a lot of it, which is pretty cool. To be honest with you though, it really lacks any part of strategy. It gives you the option to choose how far you're pushing as far as what you want to start off with when you're going from the... what is it, the 3, the 5, the 7, how deep you want to dream.
I am going to go the 579 track as well.
Okay.
I'm actually going to consult the book.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the exhaust.
5 dice? Oh,
Yep.
Man, they're almost all yellow.
Ooh, that's going to suck. No, they all clear because they won't clear if you have the eyeballs in there. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, they all clear.
Okay.
But I get to take 2 of them out.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye. So I have 3 dice, 1 red die, 2 yellow dice.
I want to be a nightmare.
All right. First is you resolve is sleep.
So
The
your
exhaust
sleep
track
goes-
first.
Okay, I got 1 exhaustion and 2 shadows.
All right. You choose which one you want to do first.
But besides that, and where you're actually placing
The order of placement.
the order of placement, that's it. Really, this is all a luck-based game.
Yep.
So, in my scoring, I would probably have to give this one a 3 out of 5 for enjoyability.
I enjoyed the game. I would play it if someone said, "Hey, do you want to play Lucidity?" I would play it because I do enjoy the game. I give it a 4.
Cool, awesome. So let's kind of get into the nitty gritty of it, the mechanics of the game. What do you feel about the mechanics here?
So the mechanics, it's not a complex game at all. You draw dice, you put back dice, you roll dice, and you do as the dice say in the order that it goes. Setup is very simple. You get your card, you get your plate, you get your plastic piece where the dice go. And where the big drawback for me with the mechanics, again, is going back to what I said before, is the nightmares. When you become a nightmare, it is cool. It's a cool feeling to become a nightmare, but you don't really do anything when you're a nightmare. There's not much more interaction with the nightmare itself, other than you can send minions out, you draw a dice, someone picks it, someone gets to roll the dice, or you get to steal points. But other than that, that's all you get. You don't get anything else. Is that 3 yellow shadows?
Yes.
All right, you become a nightmare. There's no re-rolling any of that.
Yeah.
You are the nightmare of imprisonment.
Yay.
So you clear all your shadows off the board. And when any dreamer would resolve a shadow or an exhaust of imprisonment, the yellow dice, move it to your card as 1 point. Then you may move a shadow on their card to an exhaust space. So that card actually now, you pick the side you want, and it now covers your shadow track.
It does the same thing.
Yeah, it's just different artwork.
Yep.
So you're
Alright,
officially a shadow. You may clear off your exhaustion. You may clear off your hunt.
Yeah, you actually, when it's your turn, you do not roll anymore.
Yeah.
So all those go away. All of this goes back into the bag, and
Is that
that
right?
goes back into the bag.
All this goes in the bag.
Yep. Now, the cool thing is, on your turn, you have different abilities, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
You can consume power, which means you steal, in his case, a yellow dice from another player as far as on their point track. You can steal their points.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can send minions. What that is you draw 2 dice out of the bag. They choose the one you have to roll. That player rolls it, and that's what they have to suffer through. And so
So you would rate it probably what?
I would say as far as the mechanics go, I would probably give it a 3, just because of the nightmare feel to the game.
You know, and I actually agree with you on that. When I was originally thinking about this game, thinking about our scoring and stuff, as far as the complexity of this game goes, when it comes down to mechanics, the game itself is not complex. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach other people, which I like. There is some that you can do to choosing, like I mentioned beforehand, the strategy is really lacking in this game, but there are some bits that you can do to choose what color die you're pulling from, how you place the nightmares. The setup is super easy. It is a super quick game. And the rules are very straightforward.
Yeah.
The layout on the rules is really, really well done. But honestly, I have to agree with you. The nightmares is really where it's lacking. If you become a nightmare, you might as well have just lost the game and set out, because there's really not a lot for you to do. I mean, you can definitely sit there and berate the other players, but besides that, there's not a lot for you to do on your turn.
You can still win.
You can. You absolutely still can win, unless you're playing against someone that wants to watch the world burn. Ain't none of us gonna win,
I think that's kind of the aspect I look at it. Because like I said, it's cool to become a nightmare. When you first see the nightmare cards, you want to be a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely.
But being the nightmare...
It's just not that fun.
Yeah.
No. And I originally was going to rate it a little bit higher on mechanics, but no, I have to agree with you. I'm going to give it a 3 for this.
Yeah.
So, replayability. Will you play this game again?
Like I said before, absolutely. If someone pulled out the game and said, do you want to play Lucidity? Absolutely. I would play Lucidity. One, because it's a fairly fast game.
Mm-hmm.
It can be played within 30 minutes to an hour average.
Mm-hmm.
It does have some player interaction. Like we said, it's kind of forced in a way.
Yeah.
Because you do interact with other players. Like I said, it's just, I would not try to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because you can actually do more. It's cool being a nightmare, but I would play it again. If someone says, hey, do you want to play Lucidity? I say yes, absolutely.
So how would you rate it?
I would actually give it a 4 in my opinion for replayability, just because, like I said, if someone says, hey, I want to play this game, I would play it.
Awesome. When I look at it, the game itself, I enjoyed it. There is a little bit of randomness to it. In fact, there's a lot of randomness to it, and I'll mention it again. This game is all luck-based. It is all push your luck. It's like you're playing in the casino, but with horrible, horrible dreams. And there's not a lot of variance as far as how the game plays through. It's going to play through the same way every single time that you play it, unless you use one of the expansions. Currently, there is only one expansion.
No, there are 3 expansions in there.
There's 3 expansions.
I've only played the bone dice, but they actually have 2 card variants that actually completely alter the mechanics of the game.
That's cool. So that may get me to come play it again. But to be honest with you, this is not going to be my first choice to play again. If it's one of those where majority rules, yeah, I'm not going to just sit out. But it's definitely not my first choice. I have to rate it a 2 on this one as far as replayability goes. So, altogether, Roger, I think that your total score for everything was a 14. Mm-hmm. And with, you kind of changing my mind a little bit on that, my total score on that was and 11. So when you look at that all together, if we average everything out, I believe the total on this is going to be a 12. So for Lucidity, we give it a 12 out of 20. Now, remember, guys, that is still above average. This game is definitely worth buying. It's definitely looking into more of Shannon Kelly's work. And definitely give it a shot. I've got to give a shout out to the production company with Foxtail. They've done a great job as far as design. My high points definitely the design and the mechanics of the game. It's so simple that I can look past all the rest of it and just easy to put together. But any final words on Lucidity?
I have not regretted kickstarting their game. I plan on backing any other games that they actually make because of this game. They can only get better. I'm actually planning on trying to actually play some of the other expansions.
Yeah.
I've played with the bone dice. The bone dice are actually fun. It adds a very strict mechanic to the game. But it does change the whole outlook of the game as far as it forces you to actually use certain mechanics. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. But I enjoy their games.
Awesome. Well, if this game intrigued you, definitely check it out. This is Lucidity Six-Sided Nightmares from Foxtail Games, designed by Shannon Kelly. And guys, be sure to check us out for more reviews, more gameplay. We're all over YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check us out on any of those. Give us your own, let us know what you want to see us review. We're more than happy to play games. That's what we love doing. That's why we do this. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow. We've got our Patreon. The more stuff that we can get, the more that you subscribe, the better games that we will be able to play, the more that we'll be able to give to you guys. You are what makes this work. So check us out, and until next time, keep playing games.